What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, reports have now surfaced that undefeated three-division world champion superstar boxer who simultaneously held the WBA super title at super featherweight, WBA super regular title at lightweight, WBA regular title at junior welterweight, superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis and his opponent, former undefeated WBA super featherweight world champion, Dominican star boxer Hector Garcia, January 7th, Washington, D.C. showdown only did 61,000 pay-per-view buys, with Javonte Tank Davis getting a ninth round stoppage victory over Hector Garcia. With that said, people are saying Javonte Tank Davis, his pay-per-views, it failed, doing only 61,000 pay-per-views. It's reported to do 61,000 pay-per-views. Okay, Javonte Tank Davis, he went into the fight 27 wins, no loss, no draw, with 25 wins by way of knockout. He is now 28 wins, no loss, no draw, with 26 wins by way of knockout. Javonte Tank Davis is a superstar within the sport of boxing. And then you have a rep from the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, who responded to a tweet that said that Javonte Tank Davis did 400,000 pay-per-view buys with Hector Garcia, his January 7th Washington, D.C. showdown. It did closer to 400,000 than it did 61,000, okay? So with that said, people are starting to now, correlate Gervonta Tank Davis's low pay-per-view, reported low pay-per-view numbers of 61,000, and saying that since Gervonta Tank Davis is no longer with legendary retired Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions, that he's going to struggle with his pay-per-view sales. But I say, that has absolutely nothing to do with Gervonta Tank Davis's pay-per-view sales. This has absolutely everything to do with the fans in the sport of boxing and how fickle the fans are in the sport of boxing. Because Gervonta Tank Davis is an absolute stud and superstar within the sport of boxing. There's no doubt about it. Gervonta Tank Davis, in his last two fights, have broken records. He broke the record at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, May 28th, when he faced off against lightweight title contender star boxer Rolando Rolly Romero, who came into the fight with 14 wins, no loss, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout. At the age of 26 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, Rolando Rolly Romero had never had a marquee showcasing fight. He's never been on pay-per-view. He's never fought for a world title, so obviously he's never been a world champion. But yet, Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolando Rolly Romero, the fight was sold, and Gervonta Tank Davis broke a live gate at the Barclays Center for a boxing event with a $5 million gate. And there's some big names that fought at the Barclays Center. You got Hall of Fame iconic legendary superstar, former undisputed world champion, Super Zab Judah. You have Danny Garcia, two-division world champion Puerto Rican superstar boxer who showcased there. You also have heavyweight sensation and soon-to-be legend Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who fought there. You have some massive names, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, okay, that fought at the Barclays Center, Errol Spence, and they have not done the gate that Gervonta Tank Davis generated, $5 million gate. And he did so against an opponent that people didn't, no slight and disrespect to Rolly Romero, but he wasn't a household name. He's not somebody, a very familiar name that the boxing world knows, but the fans support and show up for Gervonta Tank Davis because he's exciting. Okay, he sells. Yes, Floyd Mayweather did co-sign Gervonta Tank Davis, but ultimately Gervonta Tank Davis, he fulfilled his obligation when he stepped through the ropes. Okay, and he carried the torch that Floyd Mayweather passed to him, and he's a superstar. And then Gervonta Tank Davis, once again, he's from Baltimore. He's from the DMV area, but he goes and he fights in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena against another relatively unknown fighter to the casual boxing world. He faces off against Hector Garcia. Now, Hector Garcia is coming off of two at the biggest wins of his career. Hot confidence high. He's an Olympian. He's a world champion. He's undefeated. But he's a casual boxing fans fighter. Excuse me, he's a hardcore boxing fan fighter. Casual boxing fans don't know who Hector Garcia is. And yet, once again, the arena was reportedly packed out. It did 19 to 20,000 fans in the arena. It did a a record-breaking gate. Once again, Gervonta Tank Davis breaks a record. Now he broke the record in Brooklyn, New York, and now he breaks the record in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena with a $5.2 million gate. Okay, so it's out of the hands of Gervonta Tank Davis. Now everybody correlates it with the opponent. When you need an opponent, you need a certain level of opponent. That's why his numbers are reportedly suffering. And people point to undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, who has 23 wins, no loss, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach, was reported his next opponent for April 15th in Las Vegas, Nevada on pay-per-view. And with that said, people say that fight is going to do big numbers. But in fact, it has everything to do with the fans. Now, I'm sure it'll do more than the reported number of 400,000 or the reported number of 61,000. I personally think it's somewhere in between. And either number, if it did 400,000, that's too low of a number for Gervonta Tank Davis for what he brings to the sport and what he does in the sport. Okay, Gervonta Tank Davis is what everybody claims to want to see. He's a knockout artist. Okay, in 28 fights, he has 26 knockouts. In the one fight that he didn't knock his opponent out, that was a high-profile fight, was a fight with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Okay, to which it went the distance. But Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a worthy opponent. And Gervonta Tank Davis, he showed very high skill set, ability to fight lateral, box, make adjustments in the fight. Great fight, great performance on the part of Gervonta Tank Davis, right? So again, like I said, it has nothing to do with Gervonta Tank Davis' status, has nothing to do with the promotion, it has everything to do with fans just not wanting to pay for the sport of boxing. You have so much piracy within the sport of boxing. Fans, if they don't have to pay $75 to $80 for a fight and they could watch it for free and get the same results, then fans will lean towards getting those same results. They're not going to pay for the sport of boxing. So if anybody's looking down on Gervonta Tank Davis and saying, well, Gervonta Tank Davis is not the draw that they say he is, that's false. Okay, Gervonta Tank Davis has shows when people show up to the fights, and record-breaking numbers, that lets you know that he's in high demand. I told you guys this when it comes down to undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Terence Crawford, when it was being reported that Terence Crawford did 20,000 pay-per-views, and I told you guys that it was 16 to 17,000 people in attendance in Omaha, Nebraska for Terence Crawford fight, right? It has to do with the piracy within the sport of boxing. So this is nothing for Gervonta Tank Davis to be frowned upon about. This has everything to do with the fans just not simply supporting the sport of boxing. The days of Floyd Mayweather doing 2 million pay-per-views is over because the fans just choose not to support the sport of boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis is exciting in the ring, and it should be celebrated. So I don't care if he did 60,000 or 400,000. That's simply too low for a fighter that brings the entertainment value that Gervonta Tank Davis brings. Point blank and period. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Blood Sports TV. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.